everyone. Well, it's nice to see everybody. Ha ha ha. No, I can't see you. I can only see my guest. So, and now what I'm doing occasionally is telling people up front to please like, share, and subscribe, because some of you, not naming any names here, don't watch the show all the way to the end. Naughty, naughty. So anyway, my guest has been here many times. He's my friend, at least I consider him my friend, Robert James Koyich. Welcome back to the show, Robert.
Thank you, Nancy. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. And I'm just a little envious that you're sitting out on your patio, although it is it's a little hot though.
It's warm, yes. Nice temperature. I can feel the heat from the sun. Yep.
So what do you have to share with us this time, Robert?
We spoke earlier. The topic of one of my books. I'm an author. Nobody's met me before. I write books. I have copies, all that type of stuff. And the book that Nancy was wondering about is a book called My Bag of Trips, which is about my substance abuse story, my history, diagnosis, schizophrenia, psychosis, drug use, all the experiences. Main drug lives were back in like 1999 to 2004. No, even before that, 96 to 2004. So a long while ago, but started writing a book called My Bag of Trips, right? About like 58,000 words for the book up to now, and just recounting my stories and gathering all the components of like what happened during those drug lives.
One of the things I'm wondering about is like, not everybody that does drugs ends up being diagnosed with schizophrenia, right?
Yeah, some people like marijuana is a solution to their problems. For me, it was not.
Oh, okay. So how old were you at the time when you first started?
First time I smoked dope was summer grade 9 and 10. Heavier use more so later in high school, a little bit of dabbling in high school, but then going to university, leaving Edmonton, going to SFU Simon Fraser campus, and living very freely, zero restrictions, zero anything, drug use, just marijuana, cigarettes, alcohol, partying on campus. And then second semester there, got in the magic mushrooms, and then that carried on, and had about first 2 semesters at SFU, drug life, forced to withdraw because I was not going to class. I missed courses, I wasn't doing homework, got forced to withdraw 2 poor semesters. And then the next summer I worked full-time at a geological investigations company, but was like smoking dope whenever I could. Started going a little bit nuts and crazy back then, but it's just like going to university, having freedom, having the chance to do whatever I wanted to do, and chose drugs.
Right. You know, you're the third person that I know who ended up being diagnosed with schizophrenia from doing drugs.
Drug induced, yep.
Yeah, and it's I know that there's one person I know, he ended up having to be hospitalized.
Yep, I've been to the psych ward 3 times.
Oh, you have, eh? Okay.
Yeah, psychosis, schizophrenia, all that, yeah.
Right. So now you have to be on medication to
yeah, I'm on 2 different types of meds. One is olanzapine, antipsychotic. The other is risperidone, which is one of the 2 pills that I might have been on way back when in like, I was like first trip to the psych ward was like 98, 99 back then. And I went through a test subject group where they were giving us one of 2 meds in a blind study so they could evaluate people's cognitive ideas, reality, thoughts. And then which drug has which effect by doing a blind study on them. And the one that I was on that worked semi-well is called risperidone, and the other is olanzapine, Zyprexa.
Right. I'm kind of curious because you're such a prolific writer. Were you like that pre-doing drugs?
I didn't start writing my books until about 2015, which is many years later. But one thing that did happen from psychosis, schizophrenia, that's it's called Clang Association, C-L-A-N-G. Clang associations are a compulsion to rhyme. I would fall into like patterns of rhyme and obsessive habitual rhyming, and that became like a major thing for me. Led into, I wouldn't say a music career because I didn't profit from it, but I have like 200 plus recordings of music that I've recorded that are like lyrics, like rhymes. My drug use got me in trouble in the rap hip hop community in Vancouver, which is after Edmonton drug dealers, which is after SFU Happy Hippie Fun Days drug life. And I kind of tracked that SFU days to living with dealers to trying to be an MC, trying to be a rapper in Vancouver back in like 2000, 2001. But that Clang association is a symptom of either schizophrenia or bipolar.
Okay.
It's like a legitimate thing. So I had a Clang association, a compulsion to rhyme. And even now I still babble like kind of bits and fragments of lyrics.
Right. Right. I'm kind of, it's all very fascinating, right? When you think about it, like objectively. If you're able to do that, I don't know. Because I'm thinking about like like I'm a very obsessive person, but I've never enjoyed drugs or
Mhm.
alcohol, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
So it just, now, if I did happen to do, I would have gone right fully head on in.
Yeah, and I had a very judgmental statement when you said I would have been. And I was like, yeah, you would have been nuts. You would have been crazy. You would have been chaotic. You would have not had stability or security.
Yeah, for sure. Some of us just like luck out.
Mhm.
It is.
Yeah, and some of us make wise choices, and some of us
Yeah.
recover from the poor choices we made before.
And an interesting thing is I was a high school dropout, and drugs came into my high school the year after I dropped out.
Mhm.
So by the time I go back to school, it's like 7 or 8 years later. Well, you're kind of away from it because I've been working all of those years, right? So you don't get involved the same way, you know? So that's another thing. Who knew that being a dropout would save you from being a drug addict?
Yeah, true deal.
And now this must have been really hard on your parents as well, your family,
Oh.
right?
Yes, yes. Really, yeah, big time, yeah.
Yeah. But they're very supportive now, are they not?
Mom not around anymore. She really didn't like drugs, even the cigarettes and coffee she kind of tolerated, but cigarettes she was off about. But she had like a boundary that she didn't even want me to talk about my drug lives. Like I put her through far too much grief, fear, concern. Not happy with how I affected mom like substantially badly from drugs and even the decades later. Dad again, also he's never I think he like puffed a cigarette once when he's like kid, and his mom found out about it and forced him to smoke an entire 20 pack of cigarettes, and like he like ended up, I don't know if he vomited, but his mom scared him away from drugs by like overfilling them. My mom never had a disposition to marijuana, never smoked dope as far as I'm aware. Really put my parents through too much, like way too much because of my drug use. And part of my bag of trips book that I want to incorporate is some of like, what did my parents do right? What could have they done differently?
Yeah.
But I'm still at the point of like just gathering the components in the story and the lost memories and piecing together the story of what happened through drug use, and then incorporate some of the other factors into it, like afterwards.
I think when you've got it done, I think it's going to be a very, very important book because how does somebody who's never done drugs talk to somebody who's doing drugs and get them to really listen, you know?
Yep.
Because what they hear is blah, 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 blah. You don't know what it's like, blah, blah, you know?
Yep.
But if you've been there and you know exactly what you're talking about, and you know what they're feeling, and you know how the brain is now changed, and the drug talks its own language, it's going to have a lot of effect. Like I can see that being a very powerful tool.
Potentially, yes.
Yes. When it's ready, I'm buying a copy. I'm telling you right now.
Super cool, super kind.
And I will highly promote it because I know people in my own personal life that are involved in drugs, and I try as much as I can, but I know they're not hearing me.
Yeah, and it's not so much a book to say like it's an adult year book. It's like not writing to like 14, 15-year-olds saying this is why you don't do drugs.
Yeah.
It is kind of just also having an interesting story to share and sharing the story, but wanting to incorporate more value into the book, which is kind of like, how can you help these people like to understand like, yeah, think how create for somebody who's not doing drugs and has somebody that is doing drugs and is in that kind of like, yeah, this is how nuts it can get. Like, there's no way of understanding. It's just bonkers. It's nuts. Like,
and another thing too is like young people will often say, well, this is my life, but what they don't realize is that it affects everybody in their family. Whether you're a drug addict, it doesn't have to be drugs, but when you're doing something that is not good for you and healthy for you, it affects everybody around you, right? So
yeah, but when you say that, I think of the tar bars, the cigarettes, that they're still one of the vices that I hold on to that I've yet to release.
You know what I think? If cigarettes were coming out today, they'd be totally illegal.
But way back when in 50s, 60s, back then, it's like, oh, lose weight, smoke cigarettes. The doctors were recommending cigarettes. And then years later, oh, don't do cigarettes.
Yeah, I smoked. I smoked for years, right? And I don't remember how it happened, but one day I got into my head that it's going to quit. Well, it wasn't the first time I'd tried, which is what happens too. You might try to quit, but it, takes a few times for some of us. But once I quit, and I have to say about a year afterwards, I tried a cigarette again, and my lungs reacted as if I'd been smoking for years, all of a sudden again, right? Went really tight. And I thought, oh yeah, that's why I don't smoke anymore. So I'm glad it took a long time, but I'm glad I did get off of it because like you said, when I was, listen, I'm talking about in the 60s, nobody even considered it. We'd smoke in the theater, on the airplane, everywhere, right? Nobody thought anything of it. And then you're being told, now it's not healthy for you. Nobody ever said that to us when we were younger.
Yeah.
But for some people, that doesn't even matter anyway. But again,
But then differently with the marijuana, now it's like, okay, it was illegal. Now it's like, no, it is legal. Here, enjoy it. Like, and I still can't, even if it's not a legality issue. It's like psychosis. I don't want to trigger a trip to the psych ward again.
Yeah, I did try it, but it made me hyper.
Yeah.
It had a weird effect on me, But again, I'm really pleased that you're going to be putting, chronicling all that you went through. And I think it's going to be important, for a lot of people. And I can't wait for you to do it. So other than that, because I know you've got a very busy brain, what else are you working on?
Like you said, busy brain, not busy life, because there's a lot of time, which is really bizarre and strange. But you've seen this one, the fragments. We talked about the written book. This is audiobook. That was the most recent time we talked.
Yeah.
Working on the audiobook for that one. This ends yesterday.
Okay.
So I've only recorded the first 3 chapters, but found a way with the producer who's helping me for producing the files. He's doing the post-production work. We found a way that I can record the raw audio files at home, send them via Dropbox to him. He can do the post-production editing complete. He's edited the first 2 chapters. We have 3 recorded. And that's one thing that I can do at home is if when having free time and quietness also, like airplanes and trains and vehicles, they're all background noise when I'm recording inside. But working on the Sands yesterday to record all those chapters and then have post-production release the second audiobook. Giving Group is not done. I've not done very well or much for the Giving Group, the charity, the grocery cards, but we're open, we're available. We keep on moving forward, but no new pledges, no major expansions, like 1 new card at Ruth and Naomi's shared, but like nothing major for the Giving Group. I've had other like heart-based emotional stuff that's doesn't feel good, and I don't want to talk about it. A little bit closed down because it's horrendous.
Yeah.
I'm still doing the job thing, the landscaping and writing. I'm working on discovering. I brought the 3rd book to show. This one is Rivers of Truth, where it says the second fountain of attuned hope. This is like I write the fountains 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So this is the second in this series. And that book is called The Sacred Spirit, and The Sacred Spirit is going to be the next 3-part release. And it closes with the last 2, 3 chapters written about my mom and her passing, which is like recent. So that's like significant. The what I don't want to talk about this like ruined my heart type thing, or not ruined, but like stressed my heart.
Yeah,
We're not going to go to grief today. Hold on.
No, absolutely not. It's only what you want to talk about. And anytime I bring something up that you don't want to, just shut it down.
Yeah, but I'm also totally open. So ask away.
Mention is I saw you on the weekend. You were volunteering as I was at the Pride Parade, different things. I was picking up garbage.
And I was working for the Chilliwack Market. That's on Sundays, 11 or 10. I think it's 10 o'clock till 2 o'clock on Sundays near the book van.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So it was but the Pride Parade, did that make a big difference to the
there is much busier. Like there's probably a significant greater amount of people. I'm not sure how it affected the sales at the booths, but the booths for the market are about like 15, 20 booths, and they're probably about like 60, 70, I think, total, all in the downtown core. So it's a lot more expensive.
Yeah.
There are a lot more people, a lot more activities, a lot more noise volume. The market stayed open for an extra 2 hours. Met a fantastic human being that I'd love to connect with again, that I've not spoken with in voice since the Pride Festival, which she was working for. So I'd like to connect with her again. That'd be fantastic. I don't know. I really like the volunteer work at the market. Like, it's fantastic to get out of the house, be around, connect with people. And the person who's volunteer coordinator is a great Magic friend, the trading card game, the game that I play, Magic the Gathering. That's how I met him. Right. And he's volunteer coordinator. Asked if I could volunteer. He said sure, and I'm just like super glad to be there.
Okay, very good. Yeah, even though I was just picking up garbage, I did enjoy it. The atmosphere was such a welcoming atmosphere for everybody, and I like that. I like that all inclusiveness.
Yeah, Mason, welcome. I thought live, like just the live human beings interaction, positivity. It was great.
Yeah, I'm uncomfortable. I think I told you this. I'm uncomfortable in crowds, but if I have a job to do, if I'm busy doing something, then I'm fine. I can talk to people, no problem, but if I'm just there, like I would never have gone just to walk around and be part of that.
Yeah.
wouldn't have been able to handle that.
Also, volunteer at events. Enjoy. They're a fantastic way to support the community
Yeah.
and enjoy wonderful days. So.
Yeah, for sure. I did enjoy it. And I think the coordinators, they did a good job. Hey, here's something. I'm now putting this out early, but
Yeah, sure deal.
this in November, I am planning with a group of people, Chilliwack Cupcake Day. And I want people to make cupcakes and hand them out freely to a whole bunch of people. And I want everybody to get on board. We're going to need supplies, and we're going to need bakers, and we're going to need ovens, and we're going to need people to deliver them. I just want to do it just to have some fun, because a lot of people miss out on fun. You know, like
I have a funny thought about fun, but I'm not going to say it. It's just a rude joke, but
well, you know, we live in a world where we're worried about, a lot of people are worried, and as we should be, about the environment. You know, we hear about, you know, things that are happening in other countries and wars and stuff, and that you know, people get depressed about all of those things. So just once in a while, we should have something that just pick everybody up. And what's better than that? Having a fun cupcake day all across Chilliwack. So I expect you to volunteer, Robert.
what would you like me to do?
Well, we'll figure that out at that time. You know, you can, whether you want to deliver, you know, or be at a station where people can come and pick some up, or whatever it is, right? We'll just work it all out. Because I want a whole group of people to be involved. I think as many people as we can get involved, the better it is, you know. And again, it's just to bring a little smile to people.
Happiness, joy, kindness.
Yeah, exactly. You know, somebody's walking down the street here, have a cupcake. You know, just as simple as that. Anyway,
make sure they're not edibles. Back to the, don't make sure they're not edibles. Here, have a cupcake. You can go for a flight to Arizona at the same time.
Robert would never. I'm going to make sure nobody's allowed to do that. Now, these are all cupcakes, on legit cupcakes.
Please, thank you. Yes.
Nothing other than sugar to get high on.
Okay.
Okay. So anyway, we're going to end it there, but just show your books once again. I want people to see your.
Sure. Okay. So on Audible or Amazon or iTunes, this book, Fragments of Intent, the print version is on Amazon and Kindle. Audiobook, Fragments of Intent, but the Kindle, all my books for the 3-part books are on Kindle Unlimited. If people have Kindle Unlimited, they pay a subscription and they can read any book they want to for free. All my books are on Kindle Unlimited for the fountains. This is the second one, The Sands Yesterday, that follows Fragments of Intent. It's The Sands of Yesterday. No, these are the sorry, not The Sands Yesterday is The Fountains of Faith, those 3. And this one's way later in the series, called Rivers of Truth, and is the second part of the book, The Sacred Spirit. But there's a heap of books. Go to the Bookman in Chilliwack. All my books are on the shelf that I have available, including my journals. But if you're a Chilliwack person, you can find my books at the Bookman in the new author, or the local author section. That'd be the best bet. Then you can hold them, look at them, and assess at that point.
Great. Thanks again, Robert. Thanks to all.
Yeah, thank you, Nancy.
Yeah, always a pleasure to have you on the show. And thank you for everyone and for watching. And yeah, check out Robert's books. You know, it's always nice for an author to know that that his work is read. So
yeah, it's fantastic. We'd like to share.
Be nice, everybody, and peace out.
A sense of community, Chilliwack's a place to be. A sense of community where you're free. Rolling through the mountains, rolling through the valley, rolling through paradise with me. It's multicultural, you're sure to see it all. Chilliwack's the place to be, you'll see. Come party in the park, go dancing after dark. Chilliwack's the place to be, you'll see.